Go, please. Sorry.
Okay. Yeah, I suppose I should introduce myself too. So, my name is Joachim Stein. I live in Berlin and do quite many things. I work for technology companies. My background is in art, and I'm quite interested in many topics. And since 2005, I'm one of the organizers at the moment, the only organizer of the Berlin Pechakucha Night. And pechakucha is quite an interesting, very simple, fast presentation format. It has a very simple rule of the game. People get to show 20 slides for 20 seconds each, that makes 6 minutes 40 per presentation. So it's very quick, the interesting thing is that that we have this strict rule of the game, and that's basically also how we this event. We don't say anything about the topics. Basically, any topic we have would expect, but also people just have an interesting story to tell, or entrepreneurs sometimes. We had doctors, scientists, and it's also so people come and they don't know what to expect really. They hear something and it could be a fake, it could be someone bullshitting them, it could be some activist trying to convince them of a certain political position, that has worked remarkably well. We don't do much to advertise the event. We have our newsletter. We're kind of conservative in that way, but we have a stable audience of like 200 and 200 more, or sometimes even more visitors. We have moved in the city. We've done it in different neighborhoods, people follow us around, and we find a new audience when we go to a new neighborhood. Generally, I think, or the interesting thing about organizing an event like that, especially for such a long time, is that it has, at least I think, it has become something that plays a certain role in the city's community. It's basically a meeting point. It works for the audience in the way that they get to know or hear about things that they would normally not hear about, because we invite people you would normally not see in mainstream media or other outlets. Then on the level of the speakers, it's also quite interesting. We usually invite them to a dinner just before the event, so they get to know each other, which is, then you have like a doctor and an activist next to an entrepreneur. And for me as the organizer, that's actually almost the more interesting part of the whole event, because that's when conversations start, and when you have this unlikely group of people, almost like in a English theater setup, people who would normally not meet, and they usually find this very entertaining. So they are quite enthusiastic. I can see that after the event, people are really quite happy, and they stay, and we go out for drinks, and it's actually something that they remember. So I've been doing this for 12 years now, and a couple of times I thought it was time to pass it on to someone else, to younger people who could take over, who also have maybe different type of network in the city. It's of course difficult to do that, and now it almost feels like a duty for me to continue doing it, and it's a lot of fun, but of course the important thing is also to keep it, and so you can imagine we organize 4 or 5 events a year, and we invite 12 speakers, so it's something like 60 speakers that I have to find every year. It's also quite interesting. I don't do this. This is not my profession. It's like I don't do this to make money, but still there is an economy in organizing an event like that, and so by doing that is that many of the things that you have in a city, if you would play by the rules, if you would do everything the proper way, officially pay tax and so on, it just wouldn't happen. It wouldn't work. I cannot pay the speakers. If I have 12 people for 2 hours of program, that would be super expensive. But I still somehow have to pay the venue where we organize the event. And of course we get a good deal, but you have people working behind the bar. Maybe they actually make some money selling beer, but usually that's not enough to pay, opening the building and make it happen. So basically everybody involved doesn't get paid much, or doesn't get paid at all. We as organizers don't get paid at all. But I think it's a really important part of the culture of the city, that this event and similar events, when we were something like that, that it happens. And then, of course, another interesting aspect is how it works on a global level. Mentioned the idea it's not my idea. This format, it's the original idea is from architects in Tokyo, and they tried. When they noticed that it worked out in Tokyo and that it became very popular, other people created a global community, including, of course, a website where you can see the pechakucha presentations and announcements of events all around the globe. Basically, they have something like 900 or almost 1,000 cities nowadays. And of course, the problems that they were facing organizing an international community like that were quite different, but it was quite interesting for me to actually see from with a close look. And of course, we had conflicts. Of course, they want to have some kind of control over the format, the brand, and so on. We as organizers, we have our interests. Of course, I don't want to work for something and put a lot of energy into something where they could kick me out. That's not attractive. And then of course they don't really know how it works in the various cities, and you have very different people organizing it. There's one. In Berlin, of course, it's kind of easy. There are many people passing through. We have many international visitors. There are super interesting people here all the time. It's a big city, and there are also cheap venues we can rent. But then when you're in a small town, it's of course much more difficult. But in Germany, there's, for example, one guy in Aalen, in the south of Germany. He's a police officer, and he somehow usually you have architects, designers, and all these hip professions who end up organizing events like that. And in that case, it's a police officer. and I haven't been to any of his events, but the people I know who've been there and who talk to him, they say it's hilarious. He invites interesting people, and of course you can imagine it. A guy who works for the police runs into different people than the kind of people I run into. I mean, I may run into people who have interesting internet business ideas, or who do crazy art projects, and I don't know what kind of people he runs into in a small town in the south of Germany. But his event has also been going on for some time, and he was even the host of the German organizer meeting that I unfortunately missed last year. So it's been an interesting experience. I never thought I would do it for such a long time, but it's nice to see what it does to do that, to do a thing like that for such a long time in a row. It's of course in the beginning it was many things were improvised and new, and now I have a lot of routine doing it, and the value is actually almost, or the value almost lies in this routine of having this thing be an integral part of the city's cultural life. So that is pechakucha in Berlin.
Thank you.
We have a website, and you can apply if you want to give a presentation in Berlin sometime. There's also a global website, the pechakucha.org website, and there you can find events in a city near you, or a city you may be traveling to. The quality is very diverse, very different. So it can be can be a very inspiring night, and if the talks are not so interesting, usually I go to grab a beer and then wait for the next presentation. It's just 6 minutes 40. One thing I really like about most of the pechakuchas I've seen is that you don't only have people who are very experienced in giving presentations like that. You have amateurs, and it's not always about saving the planet. Like when you go to a TED talk, it's usually you have like people who have great ideas and who are super established, and who know how to save the planet. And the pechakucha can just be someone telling a crazy story, or not even crazy, maybe just a touching story or anything. And I'm quite happy to be one of the organizers and to have done it such a long time.
Great.
I think that's more or less all they tell about it.